Welcome to Decades of Horror, the classic era.
The dog's meat. Have you seen it?
I wasn't supposed to eat that.
Can if you want.
This is episode 139, recorded November 20th, 2022.
Gruesome Magazine.
My name is Jeff Mohr. On this podcast, we cover the good, the bad, and maybe even the ugly horror films released since the beginning of time, through 1969. In each episode, we'll discuss the monster, spirit, psychos, and villains that have haunted movie-going audiences since the dawn of film history. With me this week are my incredible co-hosts. First up, Whitney is back. Whitney Collazo, accomplished artist, makeup artist, and writer. It's so good to see you, Whitney.
It's so good to see you guys. I'm so glad to see you guys. I am well. How is everybody?
I'm good.
Good. Especially
now that you're here.
Yeah.
Yes. Now
That's not taking away from anybody that guest hosted.
Right.
Except Ralph.
Yeah, I got a bone to pick with him. He picked something that I wanted to choose, but it's okay. No, I'm kidding.
I knew it. I said, here we are doing Mexican horror, and Whitney's not here. What's the deal?
No worries. I'll watch it, and I can't wait to listen.
Oh. It was fun. It was a fun one. Also joining us is Chad Hunt, co-host on Decades of Horror, the all of them. Excuse me.
Well, Chad, it's so good to see you.
Could you guys hear that?
Yeah, at first I thought it was the robot walking on Daphne's ceiling.
Yeah, when we remodeled the house and put a front door up top, we put a Ring doorbell in. So now my phone alert tells me there's someone at your front door. I've got no, that's my wife leaving to go to church. That's not. Okay, anyway.
That's
or that's
where you
the
need to
neighbor's
be.
cat walking across the driveway. That's where I need to be. So now I muted my phone like I should have done before we started. All right. So yeah, I didn't hear. Chad, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing better than you are.
Yeah,
so far.
That's the usual situation.
You're on the struggle bus today.
I'm on the struggle bus. I like it. Is that like the Luton bus?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, you do
What
too.
do you do?
Also
Luton
with us
bus?
is
Wait a minute. Hold on. What the hell's the Luton bus?
The Val Luton bus that shows up in the scene. Isn't that the one that shows up behind the scenes when they need to do a change or something?
Yeah, it comes from Cat People, where she's running and there's somebody following her at night, and then a bus pulls up, and when it hits like the air brakes, it goes, and scares it. It like releases the tension.
I had no idea. If I did know it at one time, more important information pushed it out.
There could be no more important information than Val Luton. I'm sorry.
Well, and I guess I thought it was just a way to change scenes, but I forgot or didn't even know about that.
Well, it started from Cat
change.
People with that, but it's also a way to like hit that crescendo for the tension and the change scene.
Yeah, gotta get back in my education.
Daphne is also here.
Yes.
She is awesome, stupendous, and likable as hell. How you doing, Daphne?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm gonna hope that was a happy, and Daphne's here too, because I'm here and I'm not going anywhere.
Yes.
And are your relatives sitting in the background laughing at you and making fun, or they should be trying to make you laugh and stuff? No.
No.
All right.
She knows how weird I am.
All right.
This is family hour for
Daphne.
It is for me.
Me too.
All right. We also, decades before the classic era, partner with Play Now Media on 3 of their streaming channels: Classic Sci-Fi Movie Channel, the Classic Horror Movie Channel, and the Wicked Horror TV channel. So you could watch all of the Decades of Horror Classic era episodes on those streaming channels. And in fact, today's movie is available on the Classic Horror Movie Channel. So you already know it because it's in the title, but I'm not going to tell you again until later. So you can get this. The apps are on Amazon, Fire Stick, Apple TV, all that stuff. The electromagnetic universe is filled with them. So, all right. On this podcast, we start by giving some details of the film we're covering, followed by each of our first impressions. Well, first, we do the super hyper sensationalized segment taglines with Chad. And then we give our first impressions, and then we talk about the people in the movie, just see what interested us and what's going on. And spoiler alert, by the time we're done, you're going to know everybody that died and how they died, and so you should
what
stop.
What their brothers' names are, cousins.
Yes.
Yeah. Bowel movements. You'll get it all.
I forgot, not just the characters, the actors too. Yeah. All right. And so our film today.
Oh.
And that's a. At first, I thought that was a shot from the vice presidential debate.
I was just thinking that.
But no, it's not. It's a shot from this film, The Deadly Bees, released in 1966.
Look at his little fuzzy haircut.
Yeah.
I know. And I think somebody put the wings on backwards. I think it doesn't look right. But anyway, he's glued in there good.
It looks like somebody crocheted a sock for his abdomen. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I think they just took. Well, never mind.
Directed. Look real.
It doesn't. Directed by Freddie Francis. Original screenplay was written by Robert Bloch, and then for some reason they brought in Anthony Marriott to rewrite it. Bloch doesn't have real good things to say about what he did, but it is from a 1941 novel by Gerald Hurd entitled A Taste for Honey. I think I wrote A Taste of Honey, but I think it's A Taste for Honey.
That was the funk group in the 70s.
Taste of Money was the Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. Yeah. But anyway, the cast includes Susanna Lee, Frank Finlay, Guy Dolman, Catherine Finn, John Harvey, and the ever popular Michael Ripper. It is a production of Amicus, which we are very familiar with, and it was filmed at Twickenham Studios in England. They started filming on December 6, 1965. Don't know for sure how long it was. The release dates, this is really weird. It's so weird. It's from the last movie. The actual release date is 23rd of December, 1966 in Deming, New Mexico. I just don't get this stuff. Why does this English film debut premiere in New Mexico? And then in April 1967 in the UK, and then in West Germany, and then in New York. So really, I don't know there was a whole lot of time this was out or places in 66, but this is how IMDb lists it, and that's what we're going with.
I still can't get past Twickenham Film Studios. That sounds like something a 5-year-old tells his mom he wants on his sandwich.
Well, even better yet, Twickenham is in Middlesex, and I don't know what the Middlesex is. I just in England, but anyway, the synopsis. sorry, with our Brit listeners. Trouble strikes when an exhausted pop singer sent on a vacation to a farm realizes that the farm's owner grows deadly bees
from scratch.
Bees,
just like biscuits.
Yeah, they're big.
The deadly biscuits,
also known as I don't have any way of knowing how to pronounce this. In Finnish, it's tapa yama halaiset which means killer bees. In German, it's, I just love this. Die Todlichen Bienen.
Toe licking.
Toad.
That's
Even
funny.
better.
Toad
Toad-licking.
licking.
Which I hear has some psychedelics on it, so there might actually be.
Lick this toad, man. It's all.
And that translates to the deadly bee. And then I don't know how to say this either. Picada mortal. There we go. Portuguese, the deadly sting.
Deadly sting.
All right. Well, now we've come to our favorite segment.
Your favorite.
Everyone's
It
favorite.
is time
Everyone's.
for taglines with Chad.
That's original. How'd you come up
It
with
is,
that?
isn't it?
I missed you guys. This is great.
It must have took you hours to think of that one to put on there.
It did. It did. Well, I could have pulled up something by the Birds, but nobody would have recognized it, I don't think. So
At least I could have danced to that. That just sounded like a.
actually, Nick Gadman would have recognized it, I'm sure. But so Chad, what are the taglines for Deadly Bees?
The taglines for the Deadly Bees are: number 1, hives of horror.
Kind of makes you feel that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. Number 2, excited by the smell of fear, they inflict their fatal stings.
Somehow or another, the fact that they're excited bothers me a little bit.
Why?
I don't know.
We just get a little further into who Jeff is every episode, don't we?
We do.
Okay. Okay, number 3, stingers poisoned by their maniac master. The frenzied bees swarm to attack their human quarry.
These are really good.
Yeah, right.
But
And the best is a
stingers
splash.
poison. He didn't poison them, did he? He didn't poison the stingers. There's no way. I hate
That's-
marketing people.
Yeah. That makes you picture him dipping them into like
Yeah,
Curare
each little
or something,
stinger.
you know?
You're next, my dear. No. Number 4, the chilling story of bees that were trained to eliminate humans. The chilling story. It was so chilling, I almost fell asleep.
Not to kill humans, but eliminate them.
They're eliminating humans one by one. Designations.
All right. Thanks, Chad. That has been Taglines with Chad.
I'm just going to keep my face hid behind the graphic. Okay.
So now it's time for first impressions.
Just shrug it.
And this is Daphne's pick. The Deadly Bee.
Yeah.
So she gets to go first. So what prompted you to pick this? And what were your first impressions?
Yeah, what prompted you to pick
Explain
this?
yourself. Well, I was just looking through the movies and I saw it, and I used to watch, Creatures Gone Amok movies on Saturdays with my mom, Saturday afternoons, and those movies really have a place in my heart. And so I thought, yeah, let's check this one out. And then I saw the trailer, and I was like, yes, please. I want to watch this and talk about it because it looks absolutely cuckoo. And it was, and I liked it a lot. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again, but it was fun to watch. And yeah, I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say, what your experience and opinions
You're going to go with that, huh?
Yes. I thought it was
think?
fun. And I, as usual, got the book out from the library and read it. So it was interesting.
Nice.
But
It's not the same, is it?
it's not the same.
We got a Jeff Jr. on our hands.
We do. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Did you watch the Elgin Hour version?
God, no, I didn't have time. This week has been so busy, but I want to because I think that I'll look at it. Are we going to include that in the show notes or something?
Something. I'll talk a little bit about it.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, thanks for finding that too.
So Whitney.
Hello.
Your first movie back, and
it's this.
Deadly Bees.
Yeah, I've never seen this before, but I was pretty thrilled to see. Okay, Freddie Francis is, he's on this as director, so I thought, okay, this could be interesting, and yeah, definitely so. I mean, it's a little out there, but definitely entertaining. And I'm one of those people that I wouldn't say I have like a phobia of these things, but I definitely cringe anytime I see it as a bee in public. So I'll admit, like seeing how things are animated, and for the time and how the people were, like the mystery between certain individuals, the backstabbing, and I'm like, there's some drama, there's some sus people in here, so yeah, suspicious. It's pretty cool.
Some backstabbing, some stinger stabbing.
Nothing exactly.
Yes, stinger stabbing, definitely, yes.
All right, well, thank you, Whitney, and on to Chad.
This is the first time I've seen this piece of trash. No, I'm just kidding. It is the first time I've seen it. But I had never seen it before, never heard of it, never read about it. This is a brand new movie to me. And I said, well, it's an Amicus production. I might like it. I like most of Amicus's little movies they have. So, but yeah, I liked it. It was entertaining. I didn't hit fast forward once.
Whoa.
Not one.
There weren't
time.
any songs or dance routines.
But there were two songs.
Oh, there was a song.
There were two songs.
Oh,
I take it back. I did fast forward through those.
Dang it.
Anytime somebody picks up an instrument or walks up to a microphone, Chad's fast forward. Sorry.
Yeah, I got it.
But and the thing is, I figured it out from the beginning. I knew it wasn't Manfred.
Yeah.
So I was kind of disappointed that I was able to figure it out because it kind of ruined the rest of the movie for me. But I liked it. I really liked it. And it was, what was the guy's name? Finley?
Was it Frank Finley?
Frank Finley. Yeah. He was awesome in it. He just played this little unassuming guy, and he was trying to manipulate and play things his way. But it was really good. I liked the story that it had to tell, how it set up this little mystery and everything, and the way it was written and the way it all played out was very, very good. I thought the bees sucked. As you can see, they look like oven mittens from the title card that we just showed. They look like big oven mitts with glass shoved in for wings. They were just weird looking, but and they like getting in people's hair, but which I found disgusting. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yay!
Yeah. I had fun with it too. With Freddie Francis, you're always kind of looking to see what makes it Freddie Francis. I think there's basically 5 or 6 characters that we see repeatedly. That's about it, and they all do a very nice job, I thought. So we talk about the acting later. Yeah, it's a little too on point. With they try to give you the I don't know, red herring or the MacGuffin or whatever it is. They want you to think the place she's staying is the bad guy and the nice guy is the good guy, but you just know it's not it. But they do kind of lay it out, so you don't know for sure. Anyway,
I did. Mr. Mohr,
sure?
Mr. Mohr, I knew.
Sure. All right.
You hope
All right,
you're
Chad.
wrong. You
All
hope
right.
you're wrong, but
Yeah, well, so yeah, and the bees, yeah, not great. Although there was a great scene where they were flying in flurries around. I think that was with Michael Ripper. That they looked like, I swear, I called it a B-NATO. It looked like they were making.
It looked more like they were throwing rabbit turds into a giant fan.
Yeah. Superimposed over the shot, like the anyway.
Just saying, the way it was sticking to everybody's face.
So anyway, I enjoyed it, and I would have liked to have seen the Robert Bloch version. I'm not sure that I remember exactly what they changed, but at any rate, hey, it's Amicus, it's Freddie Francis, and I think I may have fallen in love with Susanna Lee, my new love interest on films.
She is lit. She is lit.
She is. She is. All right, let's have
You
some
kids.
fun. You kids. So this is interesting, I think, in that the posters are a little kind of, I don't know. There's not very many of them.
Sucky.
So there's your hives of horror. Yeah.
I don't know. It's the bee's knees.
Now, yes, yes. Now, she actually is. There is a scene with her in her bra in this movie, so that's different from most of the posters like this that we get.
That's true. At least nobody's choking her. That's what I'm happy to see.
I do like the bright orange, the bright yellow though. It was just like, and it's just such a 60s movie.
For some
like
reason, I keep putting a question mark after excited by the smell of fear.
Exciting question mark.
In my head.
Fear?
Excited by the smell of fear? They inflict what is it? They inflict their fatal stings.
What if beers were
poisonous,
psychopaths?
fatal? Yeah.
Well, first I thought that said fetal. I almost read it as fetal stings.
But
keep stinging my baby.
But we do have the usual trope in that.
I'm sorry, Jeff. Please continue.
The creature that we're talking about in the movie, there's like one in the front that's like, there ain't no bee that big in this movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The super bee.
All right. So
orange.
Two Paramount Pictures with little six-sided things like a honeycomb. Yeah.
Look at her.
Like,
did you eat all the sugar off the counter?
With the giant bee on it again. And apparently this was double billed with the Vulture.
Oh my God, they almost look exactly alike.
Which gives you the tagline, the claws of terror, the stings of death.
These two animals have nothing to do with each other.
No,
and I can't believe Broderick Crawford lowered himself to be in a film like that.
Broderick Crawford.
I haven't seen this. I gotta look that one up. With Broderick Crawford. Akeem Tamaroff.
Half man, half beast bird, swooping on his human prey,
and
drinking blood, mutilating flesh. I think I'd have rather seen that. It sounds good.
Are you reading that?
It does.
Yeah, you got some good eyes.
Half man, half beast bird. Yeah. Oh, that's where that came from. I saw a black and white like newspaper ad that all the ad showed was a picture of Susanna Lee, and then in great big bold letters it said
bees,
half beast, half bird man, or something like that, or half beast. It was. I'm like
half
going, what?
Beast bird. It says half beast bird.
Yeah, I missed that part.
Why can't you just be half man, half bird? Because if you're half man, that half is all man, but the other half is beast bird, which is a combination of a bird and a beast. So you're really screwed up in that deal.
All right, so here's the Portuguese port.
Oh my God! Look at that huge bee. He got under the door.
And there she is in her slip in her bra again. You know, with a giant bee looking up her skirt or something. I don't. He's not really.
You always go there.
It's massaging.
You know, I grew up at a time before porn was available, so you had to beware.
So you had movie posters like this.
Yeah, you had to be aware, All you had was Cosmopolitan magazine and Sears and Roebuck catalogs.
The bee he doesn't look threatening at all. In fact, it looks like he's consoling her here. Like, are you okay? He's touching her little toe there.
Right.
Rubbing her foot.
Yeah, and he's fanning
okay
the other person with his wings. Cool.
Listen, turn the fan on before you walk out, okay?
Okay.
There you go.
Was that all of them?
I don't know. That's all the posters I got, but I've got other stuff. So Freddie Francis. I was surprised to find out. There's Freddie Francis from around this time period. Actually, I think that's from Paranoiac, because Oliver Reed was in the picture too. I cut him out there, but and he was the cinematographer. So he's an Oscar-winning cinematographer. He did the cinematography for The Innocents, which we did on this show, and this is kind of interesting. The Day of the Triffids, when they finished the movie, I'm sure we talked about this when we covered this, but I don't remember. I'll have to go back and listen. But when they finished the movie, they only had 57 minutes of usable film. So they called in Freddie Francis, and he shot another half hour to flesh out the movie. So
He's the man.
He's uncredited, but directed a third of the movie. And he was a director of Nightmare, which we did. And in the 70s, Chad's favorite movie, Mumsy, Nanny, Sonny, and Girly.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
a damn shame is what it is.
And The Creeping Flesh, which is interesting, to say the least.
I love that show.
It is. And you get that skull that's got, one eyeball is Christopher Lee and the other eyeball is Peter Cushing.
And
and then a
penis
couple
finger stuck in a jar.
yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go
Then
ahead.
a couple of Amicus portmanteaus. Tales from the Crypt in the 70s.
I love barbecue portmanteau.
Dr. Terror's House of Horrors.
I'm sorry, Jeff. Go on.
In the classic era, it's a thing. A portmanteau. It's a thing. It really is. It's a thing.
Especially
So
between
Freddie
two
Francis.
pieces of bread.
Did you notice anything that made you think Freddie Francis in this movie? Anybody?
I have to say I did not. I tried to see if there was anything, but I didn't. And I don't know if it's because there was problems with the story or the script changing or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I
Did you
saw
guys
one
see
thing
anything?
that was really weird, I thought.
Mm.
When she's what was her name? Vicky. And Guy Dolman plays Ralph Hargrove. When she comes down for milk at night, and Ralph is in his room, I don't know, mixing up some juice or something in the world's biggest hypo.
And she
Which
looked
I
shocked for it for some reason. Like,
Yeah.
she didn't know what it was. It could have been his testosterone.
Well,
injection.
she sneaks out of the room, right? And the camera follows her, and then it spins a full 180 degrees, and it's like right up against the wall, back over to hit Ralph still in his room to show that he didn't see her, I guess. But it was weird. I was thinking, it seems like you would just use a cut, but I guess you only had to use one camera this way.
Plus, it was an excuse to make a lot of orifices in that horse's butt.
Yeah. Well, so what was the deal? This horse had all these things on him.
I don't know, but did you see those orifices?
Is that what they were? I saw spots with like red or white gunk or something. I just didn't know what it was supposed to be showing us. Like, everybody seemed to think it was obvious. That's the one thing in the whole movie. I'm kind of like, what the?
Well, I took them as injection or withdrawal.
After I saw the hypo,
huge
I kind of
hypo,
put two
yeah.
and two together and said,
Stop it.
Oh my god.
It's like a hypo version of a horse pill.
Yes.
But I still don't know what it was for. Was that to protect him from the bees? Give him the anti-fear juice?
I forget, was he trying to do the same kind of
I think he was
experiment as
experimenting.
Manfred?
Yeah, I think he was experimenting. Like he figured it out and he was trying to do something. But what a jerk. That horse. I felt so bad for the horse.
Everybody's
Yeah,
an a-hole
Freddie-
in this picture.
Yeah.
Freddie Francis has done a lot more, decent horror movies than what we've
Mhm.
covered, but those are the ones we did, and I'm sure we'll do more. I noticed he also directed Torture Garden, the other
Oh.
portmanteau from in the
Mm.
classic era's time from Amicus. Whitney, did you notice anything about the direction?
When I saw his name attached to this, I was thinking, I wonder what I would see with the style, but I have to agree, I wasn't really sure. I was actually really like taken aback by the introduction and the music. I'm like, am I really watching a Freddie Francis movie? And I don't know. The intro kind of threw me for a bit. Like, I'm like, well, that is a pop star, but still, I'm like, what am I getting into? But no, I didn't understand. I didn't understand. It didn't seem like his style, but hey, I mean,
To me, some
Definitely.
parts did with I know Amicus has always kind of been a second-rate Hammer. Some of the shots and stuff kind of looked Hammerish, I guess you would say, or like
you're right. Let me take that back. Especially with like the scenes, like in some of the shots, like coming down from like downstairs when Vicky is like in the room, and then the guy's trying to figure out like what's going on in that room. Like, so I guess that was Hammer-esque or whatever. I'm sorry, Chad. You go ahead.
No, I was done. It just some of the sets, and which doesn't have anything to do with his direction, I guess, but some of the panning shots and stuff like that reminded me, on those huge sets, reminded me of Hammer a lot. So I don't know if he was trying to emulate the Hammer films a little in this, but
like Hammer films, so that the sets were really filled up with stuff. Decorations, a set decoration, not as plush as Hammer stuff, but yet the environment really didn't deserve plush stuff either. So, there was lots of stuff to look at in all the scenes.
Usually, I'm looking for where the backdrop is.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time finding it in some of it. I had to really look hard to see where the set ends and the backdrop is.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that there was a backdrop, but you're right. Where does it end?
All right. Well, the besides the bees, the star of this is Susanna Lee. And perusing through her, she didn't do a lot. She had like 27 credits and didn't do much. I don't think she did much after 75 or so. But the top picture there is Boeing Boeing.
I'm sure it is.
Boeing, as in the airline company, with Jerry Lewis and Tony Curtis. Yeah, Tony Curtis is like he's like dating three. I think he's actually engaged to three women. And Jerry Lewis is his friend who all these...
a philanthropist, eh?
Yeah, a philanderer, yeah. So anyway, it's it's a 60s rom-com that's probably just really...
I will never watch it.
Derogatory to it. I remember seeing it when I was a kid. It was on the local... Every Saturday night we had the big show at 8:00. The family movies. So we see a guy who's engaged to three women, all stewardesses, trying to juggle everything about their schedule, and then Jerry Lewis. Looking at this now, I wonder if maybe it wasn't intended to be Dean Martin type character, but Dean Martin was long gone. So there's Susanna Lee. She's one of the three fiancés there in the middle. And then she was in Paradise, Hawaiian Style with Elvis Presley.
I heard right after this picture was taken, he made her go make him a peanut butter and nanner sandwich.
Did you?
That's what I heard. Fried.
Okay,
Right.
for that, just for that, I'm going to read you the quote she said about kissing Elvis.
He's gonna do it.
I'm going to do it.
This is going to be good. No matter what it
oh.
says, it's going to be good.
It's you're not going to believe it. His kisses held an intensity that melted my very being.
That was cocaine.
I slipped my arms around his neck and our bodies entwined. This was all madness, but we didn't stop. A person could go to the gallows with such a kiss lingering on their lips, knowing life had been good.
Again, that's the cocaine.
Brother.
It says it's a
He was
personal
asleep.
quote,
He
but
was
I think
asleep the whole time.
That's got to be a biography or something. Nobody
Lord.
talks like that.
No.
She's only
Spilled the
14
tea.
there, right?
Wow.
So, and
I
then,
know.
so here's some shots of Susanna Lee in this movie. I thought she was great. I really liked her.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Yes.
She plays the pop star,
Mhm.
and the opening scene, I think that you were talking about, Whitney.
Yeah.
She's burning out,
Mm-hmm.
and we're in the recording. We're in a TV studio or something, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the Birds are finishing up their song, which is hilarious.
Which
The
is
way
silent.
I
those
loved
guys
it.
acted.
I loved it so much.
And it's important to note this is the British Birds, BIRDS, not the American Birds, BYRDS.
Didn't you just
But-
spell the same thing twice?
No, this version actually had Ronnie Wood as a guitarist.
This version did?
Yeah, in that clip, he was there playing. He was playing away.
I love
trying-
the jerky dance moves of this time.
Well,
The 60s with the jerky dance.
there
moves.
was a dance named the Jerk. So,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
so they were.
I've hurt my finger. There's a blister on the end of my finger from hitting the fast forward.
Fast forward.
Thanks, Jeff Bezos, for putting that feature on your Amazon Prime.
It wasn't that long. So
Oh my
the
God.
members of the Birds, for the rock fans out there, maybe they can fill us in on these other people. But Kim Gardner, Pete McDaniel, Allie McKenzie, Tony Monroe, and finally Ronnie Wood.
From the Rolling Stones, right? I'm just making
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
that I remember that. Okay. Just
Yep.
wanted to make
And
sure.
what? The Faces? Wasn't he? Was he on?
He was in the Faces and Rod Stewart with Rod Stewart.
Mhm.
Look at that bottom picture right there. Look at that. What is this? It's a rat. It's a rat turd. It's a kid bear.
But look at the background. Look at the backgrounds though.
Yeah.
You got this gold bust there and
Mhm.
a floral wallpaper. There's
Mhm. Oh, it's
Who's
great.
got- I don't know why. I liked her performance in that she was like she's this big pop star, but she doesn't like at least I didn't think so. She doesn't like act stuck up or anything.
No.
Mm-mm. And I liked how, when she's introduced, she's really kind of like burnt out and weak and kind of a little, sick kind of, and just, you think that she's just, I don't know, really soft or something. I don't know. And then they, but later on, I feel like she gets kind of, she gets pretty gutsy, collecting evidence, and she really handled herself well in the bathroom with the bees and everything. And I liked her. I thought she did real good.
I did too.
I think in order for her to portray being soft was a way to show like how naive she could be and vulnerable in order for Finlay's character and Hargrave's character to make her feel that she felt about the all the stuff that she had to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And you know, from how always like, well, she was in a mental institute or she had a breakdown. I always like what in the old movies where they talk about that. Well, you know,
Yeah.
she had a breakdown.
If that's a
Yeah.
breakdown, I have those 2 or 3 times a day.
Doctor's orders. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't listen to her. You know, she's had a
Slaps on
breakdown.
the floor. She wasn't even kicking her feet or pounding her fists or anything.
Hope nobody sends me to a bee farm if that happens to me.
But yeah, she was worn out, and they were doing the typical. They were pushing her too much. I kind of wondered if she wasn't sort of patterned on like Petula Clark or somebody of that time, or I can't
Doris
think of her
Day?
name now. Somebody named. Well, she does definitely look like Doris Day. There was a singer in Britain named. Well, the last name was Black. I forget her name. Their last name right now. Anyway, it'll pop in my head in the middle of the night. Can I think of that? All right. So anyway, she was good. So take a look at the rest of the cast. Catherine Finn plays Mrs. Hargrove, and she's not a particularly nice lady. But on the other hand, if she had lived with her husband for that long, he's not a particularly nice man either.
I didn't like anybody in here but her, the lady at the bottom.
Yeah.
Michael Ripper was okay, and his daughter. Well, yeah, his daughter was okay. She was out.
Yeah, he was good. As soon as that's what, and that, speaking of his daughter, she comes walking out. She goes, "What do you want?" And he goes, "He wants you to go up to spend his house in 2 weeks." And now she goes,
yes. But Hargrove is kind of clueless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about Catherine Finn that I thought was, you're right. She is not a very nice person, but I feel like you can sympathize with her a little bit, or at least understand where it's coming from. And I really bought that she loved her dog. And so you could see a little bit of the humanness of her there. And she kind of sometimes seemed to, be kind of shown some kindness to Vicky. But she definitely, you're just like, oh,
yeah. You just
none of these characters,
you felt like she was nice at some point,
right?
And that they kind of showed you that with how much she loved the dog, but she's just been beat down by this a-hole in the middle, right there for her whole life. Yeah. So, and
the only way she can like act out is, by not answering that, bugging him and
bugging him. That was awesome when she didn't answer the phone.
I know.
Right.
I know. You just sitting there like
feeding the dog. It would have been wrong if she just said, "Oh, I didn't hear it ring." That'd have been awesome. Greatest thing put on film.
But she was in The Creeping Flesh. I don't know how much she was in it, but she's got a credit as Emily. And she's in The Torture Garden from 1967. The segment number 1, Enoch. And she was in The Witches or The Devil's Own, whichever title you prefer. She was married to Michael Ripper.
Oh,
really?
1972 to 1978. So not here, but anyway.
I like her. And I thought that was good. Her death scene, I thought she did a pretty decent job. The makeup looked really good and creepy. And
it did.
And she did a good job of being like angry, but also really having a lot of grief over her dog. I don't know. So I liked her. I mean, I like what she did with the character and stuff. I liked how I felt about the character. And she does have kind of like a familiar face. Maybe I had seen her before in one of those other movies, but I don't remember. I didn't remember recognizing her or anything.
Well, and she's the first. Well, actually, her dog was the first death, and it takes a while. It's about a third of the way to the movie before we get the first bee death. The dog. And when you go to her IMDb page, it's a picture of her being attacked by a bee.
Oh.
It's like, okay, so she only has 28 credits on IMDb, but that doesn't, in England, I think odds are that she probably did a lot of stage work. The next picture is Guy Dolman, who plays Ralph Halgrove, and he's just like the most humorless guy I've ever seen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They made him look so they made him out to look like an a-hole the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to, but do the switch with Frank Finlay's character and reverse that. But it was just right on the nose for me who did what. And I thought they still did a good job at making those guys different. Frank Finlay, the little meek little guy that has just a few thousand bees,
in his house.
In his house behind a glass, just like every Bond supervillain.
I don't have any hives, but I have this.
Get out of the house!
I expect you to get stung, Mr. Bond.
Maybe I'm ahead on this, but the dynamic when it came to asking for that book was like, what?
Yeah.
That's definitely when I say like sus, I'm like, what? This is definitely too much. Yeah. We know too much now, of course. So
like the guy in the middle, Guy Dolman, he's up to here with Frank Finlay. He is up to here. He looks like he's gonna just snap on him in a minute.
When he threw the suitcases out of the door at him,
that was
like, jeez.
I thought it was hilarious.
They just 3 suitcases. And they were nice looking suitcases,
It just didn't. Wow.
They were.
Yeah.
There you go, you wanker.
Can we say that?
I don't know. I said
we did. He was in a couple of. He was in Thunderball, and he was in a couple other spy movies back then from Len Dayton books. I don't know if you ever read him or not. Funeral in Berlin and the Ipcris File, the Harry Palmer books that starred Michael Caine as the lead, and then this guy played the same character in both of them too. They're pretty good spy fair type movies, not James Bond type, but
he played number 2 in The Prisoner.
That's right. I remember reading that.
So anyway, he was interesting character. And Frank Finlay, who plays H.W. Manfred. Recognize him? Anybody from anywhere?
What?
I didn't recognize him, but I should have. It doesn't look like it. So we did Life Force on the 80s beginning of the year, I think. He plays Falada. He's the gray-haired guy, doctor, leader, whatever. You know who I mean, Chad? There was like these 4 parts that seemed like they were almost interchangeable that were involved in the conspiracy.
I'm not thinking hard enough.
Yeah. And the Count Dracula movie with Louis Jourdan as Dracula, he was Van Helsing.
Really?
Doesn't seem like it. And there's a movie I got to look for now from 1992 called Cthulhu Mansion that she's in. Yes.
I've seen that movie.
Oh,
I haven't watched it, but I've seen.
I've
seen it. Yeah.
Seen it around.
It's a big place with a lot of space.
Rooms for tentacles and stuff. Yeah. He does a great job.
When the Shoggoths come to visit, H.P. Lovecraft jokes, everybody.
Frank Finlay.
I thought
No
he was
comments on
pretty
yeah.
good, but like Chad said, you kind of had an idea of what was going on, so
Yeah.
Mhm.
you kind of kept your eye on him.
The minute he gave her the eye when she walked away after he showed her the bees in the wall,
Yeah.
I knew it was him. I knew it was him. He
Well,
had that,
and-
I'm going to kill you later. Look about him.
So he is much busier than the other people we've mentioned so far. That he has 145 credits, lots and lots of what appear to be British series.
Manfred,
Those
stop
are-
picking up rat turds.
Look at this. I'm going to push on his belly, and that'll make his stinger protrude. And now I'll repeat the operation with this other bee.
But you're afraid of
Oh
me
my
saying
God!
wanker.
She goes.
Oh,
It was the
Very
way he talked to Vicky too, especially like when he was saying he had the papers he wanted her to take back. I'm like, wait, he's setting her up. He's
Mhm.
trying to, yeah. So
Oh, but she's
no,
smart.
She's like,
enough
how are we going to
figure
get
it
these
out.
back? Take them back.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was too much.
Take pictures of it. Not exactly a spy camera, but okay, it worked.
Yeah.
Well, again, the bottom picture, another caption would be, yeah, I've eaten 30 of these already.
And never mind. I might. All right.
It's
Well,
okay.
let's
It's
get
gonna
to
be
the
okay.
real stars here. The bees.
yes, the good stuff.
Oh, I cringed.
And that makeup,
I mean,
or
Go
that
ahead,
picture
Jeff.
isn't very good. The makeup I thought was pretty good.
Yeah,
I really liked the makeup
Yeah.
for her. Yeah.
me too. I was impressed with that
Mhm.
on her for sure. But when
Yeah.
it came to some of the effects, yeah, I still cringed, even though some of it was like kind of like, well, you expect to see like not looking right and walking in some places, but still, like, oh, the sound effects and things were enough to make me still cringe by seeing some of it, and then, but yes, back to her makeup, that definitely did it for me.
The ones in the middle picture, the bees look like dung beetles with their backs painted
Yeah.
white.
They
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
They're
You
not
are
bees.
right. But I do like the makeup in the middle one, and then I also really liked the shot below where you still
Yeah.
see. I feel like it still looks gruesome and
Mm-hmm.
just
Well, and
Yeah.
he's showing a little bit of feeling for her, and
Yeah.
even
And
though we
that
haven't
light.
seen it up until then.
a teeny little bit, but yes,
Yeah.
he is showing.
Yeah.
It's like, considering the background, you guys talking about atmosphere and have things looking Hammer-esque, and I'm just now noticing and seeing when you see backgrounds blending that are a little bit more dull and gray, and then you see her makeup popping out with like that red, and when I think of like those pinks and reds, the salmon colors and things like that, I definitely think Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's a good
so
point.
that ode is kind of strong, and or maybe it's not, but that's just kind of how I see it now.
That's good point. And also I feel like, because I was kind of noticing her clothes, and I don't remember her wearing a lot of kind of intense colors like this. So but they're mostly like browns or blue, darker colors and white. But this one really, you're right, it really draws attention to the background, the drabber background. Really adds to the redness. Yeah.
It seemed like, and maybe I got this wrong, because now if I pull a picture up, it'll show me that I'm wrong here. It seemed like Susanna Lee's wardrobe was always, maybe not. I was going to say monocolored. I just remember one time she had like light green pants and a light green top and a light green sweater.
She did wear that a lot. Yeah, the kind of matching set.
And I just to mention, because I don't think this is the only place I don't have a separate picture of her, but in the top picture of Catherine Finn, in the background is Doris, Michael Ripper's character's daughter, played by Katie Wilde. And she actually was, it kind of seems like some of these are like favorites of Freddie Francis. So she was in 1967's They Came from Beyond Space. And she was in Dr. Terror's House of Horrors in the werewolf segment. And she was a beggar girl in The Evil of Frankenstein, 1964.
That's cool.
So I see that with Catherine Finn too. And I wanted to mention Frank Finlay, I forgot. He played Porthos in those 70s Three Musketeers movies. Alongside, I forget who else was in those. Oliver Reed, Michael York, and Richard Chamberlain. I think there's three of them. So quite the dashing character. Okay, back to the bees. Oh, here's the bees. There's
Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah.
So,
this stuff,
This
bees crawling around like that creeped me out.
Me too.
Spiders don't bother me, but I probably told this before, but when I was a kid, I was playing on a swing set and there was a wasp nest in the swing set. And I was on this like glider thing, you swing back and forth. And I was climbing up on the side of it. So I'm standing there with my head sticking up in the air and I looked and it was like a 3D movie. This is what my memory is. A wasp flying at me.
Oh my God.
Stung me right above the eye and it all swelled all up and everything. And I fell off the swing set.
Ow.
So that stuff, I don't like that stuff. It freaked me out.
That's very traumatic.
That
and
is.
even though it's really a lot of the special effects with the bees are just hilarious, there were some times, like you said, where I was like, ooh,
yeah. No, like I said, I don't have like a phobia, but I have like had some experiences, but not like personal ones where I've been stung, but I have been in situations where it could have been me, but it was like my brother. And I remember he was small, he was a toddler and he's screaming his head off. And that was traumatic for me. Even I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here? And his eye was swollen after that. So things like this, when you watch movies about stuff like this, it brings back those memories.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was like, oh yeah, I want to check out because so much of that brought back so much stuff for me.
I was mowing the grass and I ran over a underground hornet nest. I had shorts on. And every single one of them flew up the leg of my shorts. I got stung. I don't know how many times.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was nice while it lasted, but the swelling finally went down.
It was nice while it lasted.
True story.
Wow.
I did a lot of stupid stuff with bees and stuff. There was another one in that same house when I was a little kid. There was a nest in like a stump or something like in the ground. And I took a plastic wiffle ball bat and shoved it in the hole. They didn't like that. So it became a big cloud of bees. Well, it was across the street. So the guy who lived in the house went out, tried to take the bat out of it. He was just like,
oh my gosh,
hopping and running and slapping. And I felt bad. I never did that again.
Good.
I just hate spiders. Bees don't bother me that much. But
spiders don't bother me. I don't know why spiders. Yeah. All right. So we've got our phobias out of there. And I got one more Think of the bees.
The nice common bees.
Oh, yes.
the jacket.
The jacket and them all around, swarmed around the tree. It's just like, oh, it's alive.
Mm-hmm.
When they are, yeah. I'm sure everybody's seen swarms before.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen them like never in real life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I was eating at an outdoor restaurant once, and we looked up in the tree on the edge of the patio was a big swarm of bees.
Mm.
And I missed a flight, or a flight of mine got delayed in South Carolina because bees swarmed on a luggage or the plane mover. You know, the thing that pulls the tug. Bees swarmed on that, and they couldn't.
Right.
The plane I was supposed to get on, they couldn't put it at the gate for like an hour and a half or something. They had to bring a bee guy out, a girl.
Open up your suitcase later. Go, Linda, what did all these bees? We didn't pack this many bees when we left.
Anyway, we're getting off. I'm getting way off the track. But so Mr. Manfred, his whole thing was he came up with this. First, he bred these jacked up bees. Right, they were like twice the size and 3 times the stinger. Look at the size of that thing. And then he got this fear juice that wherever he put it, the bees would attack. So he was always dumping it on people's clothes or putting it on the light switch. And she's like, "Oh, well,
the buckets,
yeah,
dog's face."
And so Michael Ripper.
Did they say why they were going after the dog? Did he?
The dog
did I
stuck
miss
his head
something?
in the bucket.
Oh, in the bucket. Okay.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
So the bees attacked him.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I think that's the stuff the Dole guy invented that was in the bucket, right? So
Yeah, something in there. Yeah, or he maybe messed with it. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I couldn't quite figure the bucket thing out because, anyway,
it was clearly important, but it didn't make it.
Well,
it wasn't obvious to me right away.
That scene towards the end with Hargrove and Michael Ripper, David Hawkins, where Hawkins is like sneaking around trying to catch Hargrove at something, and in the meantime, Manfred has put some fear juice on Hargrove's jacket. And so he goes outside and then he hangs it on a post. And then the bees come and he knows right away what's going on, Hargrove, but Michael Ripper thinks he grabs his coat as a shield and you're going, "No, Michael, don't kill Michael Ripper." But he got away.
Yeah, because of Hargrove. He said, "It's the jacket. What are you doing?"
I think that in order to the auditions for this movie was like pretend like you're being attacked by bees and who can do it realistically, because she was really good at it.
Yeah,
I thought Susanna Lee.
Yep.
Michael Ripper. Yeah, he was obviously scared to death. So
take your clothes off.
And I didn't know what she was doing there. She got into this whole thing with the fire and the smoke, and I thought, "God, she's going to burn the damn house down."
Yeah, I mean, I thought so.
Better than
I understood what she was doing, but it still seemed like maybe not. And then Hargrove shows up, and they kind of shoot that shot. It was nice. They had the house on fire pretty good, and he opens up the door, and I'm like, he ain't getting her out of there. Well, then they cut to an angle where you can't see the door, and he just runs out with her, And anyway, good stuff.
They did do a good job with the interior during the fire. I liked that stuff in there. And then when the guy ran up the stairs and fell over the rail, I thought that was all really good.
Yeah. And I have one thing for Susanna Lee, I forgot to mention, and this is for Chad. She did a movie called, I gotta find it. Sorry, everybody. Here I am.
Professionalism just shot out the window.
It is. Oh, I forgot to mention that bottom scene that we had of her was Lost Continent. A Hammer film. Which Richard Clemenson does the commentary for that on the Blu-ray.
Cool.
This is it. A movie in 1967 called Deadlier Than the Male. British agent Bulldog Drummond is assigned to stop a master criminal who uses beautiful women to do his killings. And Bulldog Drummond is played by Richard Johnson from The Haunting and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, Elka Summers is one of the. I look at these movies and just go, oh, and she also was in. Oh, how did I leave this out? She was in The Son of Dracula, the one with Harry Nilsson and Ringo Starr.
I now that you mention it, I remember reading that too.
And she was in Lust for a Vampire, which I don't know. Bill says is the worst.
The worst.
And that was the other picture I had on there. That's her next to Elvis's. We got so involved with Elvis that the shot of her in Lust for a Vampire.
Hey man, somebody get me another chick, man.
You know, the Elvis ones, it was hard to find a picture. She's the lead female, and it's hard to find a picture of him with her. There's so many pictures of him with other women or standing there with like 6 women arranged symmetrically crowded around him. Anyway. Okay.
Sounds like his idea.
He was the king. Any last comments?
Yeah, I hate Elvis.
The Deadly Bees. My wife hates Elvis too. I like the 50s stuff, but after that, I'm kind of. She was supposed to make another movie with Elvis, and she said the interview with Colonel Parker didn't go well, and she thought he nixed it.
Were you going to talk about the Boris Karloff?
Oh, that's right. Haha, Chad. So yeah, there was an episode of a TV series called The Elgin Hour. This was the episode was called Sting of Death, aired February 22nd, 1955, episode 11, and it starred Boris Karloff, Robert Fleming, Hermione Gingold, and a guy named Martin Green. And so they totally changed the characters around. Hermione Gingold is like the housemaid for Mr. Silchester, Robert Fleming. Hargrove is a beekeeper. Boris Karloff is Mycroft. He's kind of the what was the Frank Finley's Frank Finley's character's name? Mm-hmm. Manfred. He's kind of that character, only he's really the good guy, and Hargrove is the bad guy. So I don't know if that's the way the book was or not, but and Boris Karloff, it's worth watching. It's on YouTube. It's worth watching because Boris Karloff is awesome. He's playing. His name is Mycroft, and he's sort of like playing a Sherlock Holmes type character because he's always figuring things out, and he talks. He just talks. It's just so much fun to just listen to him, just enunciate and say these lines, and I don't know.
I definitely have to watch that, because when I was reading about it, for some reason I had it in my head that it wasn't like you couldn't see it or something. It was lost or something. So when you found
it's very bizarre. You guys said you were looking for backdrops. This thing, they use some kind of funky process on the video to like restore it or salvage it or something. I don't know what it is, but the people are fairly consistent. But the background looks like, even though it's not, looks like it's a backdrop, and it's like waving, and
Oh,
it's bizarre. It's
Ooh.
just really bizarre. I'm watching that going, wait a minute, that's a real wall. That's a real, but it's kind of like, anyway. Doesn't take away from it.
I think it would be really, I just thought it was really interesting that Robert Bloch originally wrote the screenplay, and what, I just wonder what it would have been like if it wasn't changed, or how much was changed. And also that Christopher Lee and Boris Karloff were originally, they wanted them to be the lead characters. And I don't know. I just think that that's kind of interesting.
Mhm.
What they
That
had
would've been
maybe
awesome.
planned, what they had maybe had a vision in the beginning, and then it became this. But
Well, I
thought
know
that
I
was
read
cool.
something about that.
I think it was a money issue or something. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I remember reading that that they couldn't do it, or for some reason.
He says he wrote it for Christopher Lee and Boris Karloff.
Hmm.
And
To be
for
the
Karloff
characters?
to reprise his performance from the TV version, yes.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
Who were both unavailable
Mhm.
due to scheduling conflicts.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that would have been so good.
Hmm.
And he thought it was that their improvement was not an improvement.
The changes to the script.
Yeah, well, the Mycroft character
Mm.
from the novel was removed under instruction from Amicus.
Hmm.
So he says he felt the story and characters were strong enough to warrant preservation, and I tried to retain as much of the basic plot and atmosphere as possible, working with what Milton Sabatsky of Amicus provided.
Hmm.
I did put my kindly old villain in a wheelchair, which made the part right for Boris Karloff at the time. Who, so yeah.
I haven't finished the book yet. I'm just a couple chapters away from the end, but the Mycroft character is really interesting. So it is it's very Sherlock Holmes like, and it's kind of too bad that maybe just would have been interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, stuff happens, right?
Thought to be the first Killer Bee movie. That's saying something, I think, considering how many came out.
Yeah, there were a lot of Killer Bee movies
later on. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and I love watching those crazy things. So I thought that was cool.
I'm still saying we need to do the Swarm one day on 70s.
Oh,
Well, when I
nobody will.
suggested this, Jeff was like, "At least it's not the Swarm."
Yeah, no.
Oh God.
For that reason alone.
I don't know. Did you pick that once and we got you to change it?
Yeah.
or something?
Everybody
I
got
watched
you-
it. Was
we
like,
got
oh
you to
my
change it.
God.
And we've watched some
Like-
straight trash since then, and nobody said a word. But if I say the Swarm, everybody's like, "Oh, Chad, you're so stupid. You don't even know what you're talking about." That's my Doc
Well, the
impression.
Swarm, though, is like
But-
a star-studded piece of crap. It's like the Towering Inferno meets Bees.
Yeah, that's
with
why
a
it's so great.
bad script.
That's why it's so great.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, so
it's-
pick it.
I have a ball with that.
Don't tell anybody I said that. All right,
Really, you
we
just
have
told
one
all
piece of
them I
feedback.
picked the Swarm. What's
Oh, it's almost 7:30. We have one
Oh.
piece of feedback here, so we got any last thing we want to say. We can skip the feedback and do it.
It's a
next
fun
time.
movie. Watch it.
Mhm.
It's on the Classic Horror Movie Channel.
Yes, it is.
It is. All right, feedback from Jerry Chandler on The Brainiac. Chad, want to take that? It's not very long.
Let me get down to the feedback. Of course, Jerry sends feedback. Okay. Jerry Chandler says, and I quote, "Ralph has great taste for picking this movie." I'm going to read it in Jerry's voice, if that's okay. "I love this movie as so bad it's a good train wreck. There's so much to laugh at. It's just a delight to watch. Everything from bad acting to the inflatable, pulsating monster head to the cheesy effect of turning a flashlight on and off while pointing it at the bad guy as a sign that he's about to change. The dubbing is horrible, but the actual language track wasn't great either. And then, as if to add on to the pile of pain, Jerry goes on to say, there's so much about this move to make fun of, but there's actually a solid little B movie in there, just struggling to get out. The plot is actually kind of solid. You can really see the bones of a good movie. Not great, but good movie trapped inside its hairy butt-handed body. This is the one of those movies makes the case for the argument or something like that they should be remaking more bad old movies these days instead of the 28th remake of a classic film from yesteryear. Period. Give this to a group of competent filmmakers in 2022-23, and you will likely get a solid, enjoyable little good horror flick about dark magic monsters and brain-sucking craziness. Period.
It's
But
the period for me.
They have to fix the thing's tone. I mean, I can't take a roll-up New Year's whistle toy as a method of killing all that seriously.
It is kind of like that.
To quote Count Gore Duvall when he first showed this movie, Brainiac rhymes with laugh attack. Thank you, Jerry. Didn't even have to get my blanket out for that.
I know. Well, that's why I had you read it, because appreciate it, Jerry. And I apologize to other commenters if I didn't get you in here. We'll get them on the next time around. That's it for this episode. But every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1920 and 1969. Next up, chosen by Whitney, is one that I believe is like a way of getting back at us for doing the Brainiac while she was gone. What are we doing, Whitney?
Attack of the Mayan Mummy. And that one is also not very well dubbed. Just warning you.
Oh, no.
Yay!
That should be fun.
Welcome back, Whitney.
Thanks. Or, yeah.
We love you.
Yes.
We love you. I love you. All right, there's plenty of ways to stay in touch. Please send feedback to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com, or better yet, leave comments on Gruesome Magazine's YouTube channel. Please subscribe. We do have a modest goal of 5,000 subscribers. We're not one of those ones that wants like 1 million, although we take 1 million, but
We just want people like us. A lot of people like us.
Yeah, and we know we're not. We're unique in certain ways. So please let us know. Please comment. So catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movie of the classic era, as only decades of horror can do it. Say good night, everybody.